Hey, welcome into the Cannabis Man podcast. I am your host, Don Kleppen. Thank you for clicking on the show. If it's your first time here, this is a show where we take a journalistic look at all things cannabis as different states in the U.S. and countries around the world legalize it for medicinal and recreational purposes, and just taking a look at some news articles and interviewing guests, whether they are researchers, professors, doctors, entrepreneurs, growers. Also have spoken with some representatives on the shows and directors of cannabis departments. Really anybody that I think is worth bringing to your attention, I will interview on the show and kind of share their journey with you and what impact they're having on the cannabis industry at large, and what you can look for from them in terms of products or services or knowledge or anything else. And I've got another great interview for you on this episode as well. If you could, go ahead and hit that like, rate, subscribe, share, review, whatever button you have to give some feedback on whatever app you're listening to this podcast on. It would really help me out if you can go ahead and hit that app and leave some positive feedback. Always is great to see that. I also have, in addition to that interview, I've got a news article to get to, some news events and reviews around Illinois from the Illinois News Joint Wrap, my strain of the week, as well as a theme from an article that came across my feed that I thought was worth bringing to your attention as well. I'll get into that after the interview. All of that's coming up for you on this episode of the Cannabis Man podcast. Let's get into it. I'd like to start this episode getting into the News Joint Wrap. It is brought to you by IllinoisNewsJoint.com. Think of it as the joint you can hit for all your Illinois cannabis news and reviews. And let's start with the Hemp and Cannabis Symposium, which is set for September 17th, coming up this weekend from when this episode comes out. Normally run in the spring, it's been moved to the fall this year, and it's put on by the Southern Illinois University Cannabis Science Center. It's officially called the Southern Illinois Hemp and Cannabis Symposium. Educational programming being offered as it has been for the past 3 years. This is the third such symposium that SIU Carbondale has put on. This is running on September 17th, this Saturday, starting at 8 a.m. There's a continental breakfast and lunch included. Attendees will learn about possibilities of growing and marketing hemp and cannabis products. Speakers are going to focus on statewide efforts in Illinois as well as those across the Midwest on farm bill issues and federal regulations. Hemp breeders will be there talking about new methods of cultivation and which are optimized for Illinois. And a leading innovator will also discuss development of a business model for taking fiber hemp from the farm to the processing facility. Also going to be some exhibitions there and some vendors. They'll show some modern technologies in cannabis as well as some products available. Hemp, hops, and shrooms will offer festivities and education. That's coming up this month on September 24th. It's a festival combining multiple modes of education. It's going to run from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on the 24th, also in Carbondale, Illinois. The festival will host live music, and there'll be some learning presentations on cannabis, mushrooms, and fermentation by local and regional experts, as well as host local vendors, food trucks, and more. This is a free event for the public. It's put on by the city of Carbondale, the Southern Illinois University Cannabis Science Center as well, and there will be some educational presentations and workshops in the morning and music in the afternoon and evening. There'll be over 20 vendors there, set up from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And Illinois News Joint will have a booth at the festival as well. And a reminder here, also coming up on September 24th, the Lost Art of the Hashishin Workshop, the Frenchy Cannoli Foundation, and cannabis activists Harvest. Kimberly Hooks, you may remember from last week's episode, listener, widow of Frenchie Cannoli. She's going to be hosting one of the unique education cannabis workshops. This is happening at the Aroma Grow store, which specializes in indoor gardening, organic and microgreens, and sustainable living. It's an all-day workshop on September 24th, starting at 9 a.m. and running till 5 p.m. The doors will officially open at 8:30. Workshops including lectures about science behind the process of the ancient technique of sieving, but with a modern twist and using an inexpensive mini washer. It's going to show a live demonstration and then lunch provided, as well as a lesson on the process of pressing, storing, and aging hash. Frenchie Cannoli's apprentice Belle, who lived and worked with him for over 7 years, is also going to take part in instruction, which again is the Lost Art of the Hashishin on September 24th. That's going to do it for this edition of the Illinois News Joint Wrap. Remember, you can get tickets and more information for all the events that I mentioned, as well as hear all the past Illinois News Joint Wraps that I've done on the show. Those all live now at IllinoisNewsJoint.com. I'd also like to share my strain of the week with you, listener. Normally, I kind of do some cannabis and coffee when I'm recording this, but this is a late night recording session. I'm recording this one on Tuesday night here, so this is a late night bit, but it's still a sativa, and it's Animal Cake. That's the strain. I got this from the Sunnyside Dispensary, and it's the Wrigleyville location. I always enjoy going there. It's a very pleasant experience, usually pretty expeditious during the day, and everyone's always very knowledgeable. All the bud tenders are friendly and can answer any questions you have there. Animal Cake, according to Leafly.com, Leafly.com, Animal Cake's a hybrid strain. Again, more sativa, but it is officially a hybrid, made by crossing birthday cake and animal cookies. Many reviewers report feeling giggly, talkative, and relaxed by using this. Flavor and aroma listed is vanilla. The top terpene in the strains caryophyllene, and the average THC reporting for Animal Cake is 21%. This particular batch of popcorn that I got from the Sunnyside here is at 26.3%. Package dates July 26th. That was harvested July 4th. And I was able to grab this on sale as well, listener. That Sunnyside location, and all of them, I believe, but they run some pretty good sales, and this batch of popcorn was $45 before tax, and the flavors and the THC profile on it are quite good. I'm very happy with this purchase, and this is my strain of the week, Animal Cake. Lovely. Listener, my guest today is a cannabis entrepreneur. She has started a company, a group that is really about helping people grow and get through mental health or trauma issues that they've had utilizing cannabis and just kind of group activities together, outdoors, in nature, all kinds of good things. And she's here to talk a little about what led her to forming this group here. It is the founder and CEO of Tree Huggers, Brendaly Beltran. Welcome, Brendaly.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks for jumping on the show. So I really just kind of like to start these off by getting to know you a little bit. What kind of introduced you to cannabis in your life? What led you to it?
Well, I had the very common teenage use. And I mean, I started using when I was in high school, consuming. And it wasn't in a very responsible way, which then I let go of that use. Once I got married and I had kids, I stopped consuming for about 8 years or so.
Wow.
Yeah, and I mean, it was a long road. I was married for 13 years. I have 2 kids, so I am very much a canna mom. That's why I wanted to build Tree Huggers, because I saw cannabis in a very different light. After being a mom for so long, and I got married and had kids very young, I had issues with mental health and just just a lot of trouble. I'm sure everyone has a different walk, and we can all relate in some place to the struggles that we can all face. So I was in a very dark place in my life, and I was put on antidepressants, which made me very numb. Mm-hmm. And of course, it wasn't. I wasn't sad, but I also wasn't happy.
Right.
And it was just a feeling I did not want to have at all. I love enjoying life. I love just sharing it with everyone. I love hearing everyone's experiences, and I love seeing that light that just like shines from people when they are really their best selves.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah, so I've been working so much on my own journey, and part of my journey I feel like also led me to share this with the community and with everyone that's struggling, that wants to hear it and wants to be open to what Tree Huggers is doing. I'm building a community of holistic people that either they are providers, whether it's a holistic doctor or some type of NLP practitioner, or light workers, people that work with plant medicine. And then on the other side, also bringing the consumer, the people that are looking for those non-traditional methods of healing, that want to learn more and that do believe in more of a plant medicine approach versus big pharma. So really bringing both of those together and helping each other thrive and get stronger. So on one side, you have the people that are struggling and want to do the work and get out there and find the help. And then on the other side, you have these people that have these gifts, that have these passions for answering that call and putting them together so that we can all grow.
Yeah, that's really amazing to hear. I just, I was reading through the About section of the website and everything, and I can, reading through your story, just kind of talking like about the mental health aspect and the trauma and kind of gathering with people in an outdoor space or at these events that you have, that did, it made sense to me in terms of like a feel-good thing, but I didn't really realize that you were sort of putting together this network of holistic healers like this, because I got to say, I think that's awesome, because I've talked with plenty of people over the years who have a wide range of frustrations with Western medicine. There's people have issues of all kinds, and we have doctors, we have specialists, but people tend to kind of, especially in the healthcare system in the U.S., they kind of look at symptoms, or they look at things individually as opposed to evaluating somebody on the whole. We know a lot of doctors kind of look at whatever your malady is, whatever your injury might be, but they don't necessarily take in the mental health aspect of what might be affecting that problem as well. And so I guess I'm so intrigued here. How did you mentioned kind of rediscovering or going back to cannabis after that 8-year break and such. How did you figure out like the notion of Tree Huggers, like sort of gathering this group of holistic healers and kind of having people meet together in outdoor settings and stuff? How did you kind of get the idea to combine nature and cannabis and like holistic healing and such?
Honestly, it came like in sections. So after that long break, I was also off of social media completely.
Nice.
So I was a very just dedicated stay-at-home mom and just took care of my kids and just the typical suburban wife. And once COVID happened, I was bored and just at home all the time and with my kids there all the time. And it was just like a very different environment. So I was like, you know what, let me see what's going on social media.
Sure, yeah.
And I got on Instagram and I came across, I don't even know how, but I came across a cannabis community. So maybe it might have been a hashtag or something, but I just fell in love.
Wow.
And I
That's
I
so
was like,
cool.
wait a minute, there's a whole bunch of people out here that just smoke and enjoy cannabis and share the knowledge of it, the education, the history, it's just a whole huge world. And like, I want to be part of this. And I slowly started going to a few like networking events in the industry, in the community. And then I got involved with a company that I was doing some marketing for them. So that really opened up the doors to different people. And I was like, this you can do so much with.
Yeah.
Because the industry is so new, you can literally create your own world.
Yeah.
Your own version of whatever you want, like your own vision. And I see people creating it all the time, and it's just like, it's incredible. And to me, it was like, well, this is the chance for me to like really make a difference and share that you can overcome everything that's holding you back. You can be that, that best, highest self, and really show them that it can be done, and provide the tools so that they're able to do that on their own.
That is so inspirational. It really is. I mean, I can totally relate to that discovery of the community, as you say. I mean, I kind of, I feel similarly, just in my experience of doing the show the last several months, like really just kind of, I mean, I've been a smoker and with my friends and in that kind of, limited community, and we've been, having those conversations and whatnot, and I did that for years, but it was a very different experience, and it has been for the last few months, just meeting new people and interacting with people just like you who are building all of what's being built right now in the cannabis community. And kind of as the way that you said, it's so freeing. And the energy and the excitement is just so palpable around the cannabis community right now because of all the potential there, and because that it's still being sussed out. A lot of what else we do, the rules are already kind of in place, or it's been a certain way for a while. And I think all the impending change and all of what's going on with cannabis right now, it's hard not to kind of get excited about and to be
right.
Yeah, to just be, just wanting to be a part of it. I totally get that, and I think it's really cool what you're doing here. So can you tell us a little about what sort of events you have with Tree Hookers? What kind of group stuff do you guys do?
Yeah, so the events sort of in a pop-up type of structure, I guess.
Sure, yeah.
So I have different local businesses that set up their table, their vendors, and they sell different types of merchandise depending on their business. And we have a DJ that they're also a startup pair.
Sure.
So they're like just always trying to give like the opportunity to anyone that's willing to work for it and show like that passion. So the events are members only. So they're private events.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So to that, we do have a membership application. And that's what I was getting at, that is the reason why we have the application, because we want to see where your heart and mind are. Sure.
That makes perfect sense to me. And I think it's, as you're gathering a group of people and just, you want to see, who's bringing what to the party, I suppose, and
yeah.
So I'm looking at your website here, treehuggerschai.com. And I'm noticing you guys do have some merchandise here, and I'll go through these in a second, but I'm kind of curious, what does someone need if they're interested in becoming a member? How would someone go about doing that?
So on the homepage, on our website, there is a link on there, and it says apply for membership.
Gotcha.
That link takes you to the application. And so it's just a simple Google form. It just asks for basic information, name, age, phone number, and then a few questions about your walk, your journey.
Sure.
Like who are you, like a little bit.
Yeah.
So we asked you like if there was something what is holding you back? What is your biggest goal? What have you tried? Have you tried journaling? Have you ever tried therapy? And then how do you feel about life at the moment? And it's just open to whatever you want to share. So I really just want to see where people are at. We've had some that respond very simply, like, how's life? Good,
Yeah,
and
sure,
then we've
sure.
and we've had others that really go in depth and we'll talk about what they're up to and what they're struggling with. And that is all kept confidential. Honestly, I am a one woman show.
Nice.
So I do it all, and we just leave it so that anything that you want to share, you share. You don't have to share it, but it's all for your growth. So what I do with that information, then I take it and I look at the resources, our community resources that we have.
Mm-hmm.
They're also on our website. The professionals that we're partnered up with right now, and I'll see who is best fit to maybe help this person.
Wow.
And then I'll just simply send an email, say, hey, so this is what we noticed in your application, and we believe that, if you go to the community resources page, you might find this individual that might be able to assist you to getting to where you want to be.
Wow. I mean, that's just so amazing. You're sort of, you have taken it upon yourself, it seems like, to sort of be this, like a holistic referral service, like a referral healer, and I just think that's so cool. Cause I mean, the questions like you were just mentioning, those are pretty broad and open-ended. So I can see how somebody might leave it really short or vague, and then how others might get really in depth with their journey and such. But it sounds like in depth probably is helpful for you in evaluating who might help them in terms of their whatever healing they need.
Right. And then we also ask, like, how dedicated are you to overcoming, this, or making your goal happen or reach your goals.
Yeah.
And so then we also see some people, are on the lower side. So then, there's no pressure or anything. I don't ask any further. They're still welcome to become members and check us out and see what we're about and stay connected. But then the ones that I see are more dedicated, then it just helps me to follow up a little bit more.
I also notice there's some branded merchandise on the website here. There's a pretty sweet looking hoodie I see. There's a lovely canna leaf necklace. It's a nice icon there. Some stickers.
Yeah.
And it seems like, I love the logo that you've got. It seems like there's some comfortable clothes and everything. So it seems like, somebody can apply for membership if they want to get really involved. But even just if somebody wants to support the mission that you're kind of doing, they could grab one of these hoodies or a necklace and kind of, rock that look and basically, spread the word about what you have going on too, right?
Yes, definitely. We love any support that we get. Even with our sponsors, we're grateful for anything, even support in just word of mouth. Just talk about us, check us out, give us a chance, check out the website, see if anything resonates, and maybe share it. Maybe it'll resonate with someone else.
Sure. Yeah, makes sense to me. Just one more time, if you want to check out the site, it's treehuggerschi.com. Just one word like that. And Brendaly, I'm just curious. I'm just wondering, is there a cost with the membership? Is there anything people kind of have to pay to sign up?
We do have 2 levels of membership. We have the silver membership. That one includes the admission to the event. So the event that's coming up is on September 17th in Chicago. And
Gotcha.
So it'll have the admission for that. And then it also includes 1 dab hit and 1 flower hit.
Nice.
We are going to have a flower bar, and we are also going to have several dab bars as well.
Wow, that sounds like a lot of fun. I also, I was just struck by. I mean, that event sounds really cool. I definitely think that people should check it out. I'm also noticing on your merch page. I just saw this. It says coming soon, so I know that this isn't available yet. But a branded, a smell-proof and anti-theft backpack. Just even the smell-proof is great, but I mean the anti-theft too. Like, that's like a stoner's dream bag, like that's...
Yes, it is.
That's wonderful.
I'm having a little trouble with the branding part of it. The material's a little hard to work with because it's both.
Gotcha. Sure.
But, so yeah, just a few little things here, but, hopefully we'll have it up soon. I'm very excited. Yeah,
that is awesome, and very cool to know this event around Chicago for members to go to with Dab Bar and Flower Bar and I mean and some great people. Sounds like that sounds lovely.
Yeah. We're also going to have live glass blowing.
Whoa!
We're going to be making some glass. We're also going to have a tattoo artist doing like small little flash tattoos, food, drinks, tons of fun stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a great party. Excellent. So yeah, September 17th, got some time. Go sign up and check out Tree Huggers. This is a great group of people. And Brendaly Beltran, thank you again for just kind of sharing what led you to starting this group here and what your mission is. Kind of, I think it's something that'll resonate with a lot of people, and definitely going to keep spreading the word about it. If you're cool with it, I kind of like to end these interviews with these quick hits questions. It's just kind of some like 5 rapid fire yes or no kind of things. Are you game for this? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, great. All right. Well, first quick hit here: morning bird or night owl? Which are you?
Night owl, definitely.
Night owl, right on. Okay, and favorite music if you're looking to unwind or get yourself hyped for one of these Tree Huggers events. What's some good music that you like to groove to?
Dubstep. If you guys don't know what dubstep is, you have to come to Tree Huggers After Dark.
Right on, Tree Huggers After Dark. Very cool, very cool. Drug of choice, meaning what is your what's a daily thing? Are you a coffee drinker in the morning? Do you have beer or wine with dinner? Any tea? What's a regular thing for you?
A blunt.
A blunt, yeah, right on.
A blunt.
Nice. Any preferred wrap? Are you what Swisher Sweets? Do you like a pineapple flavored? What's the blunt wrap?
Usually White Owl.
White Owls,
and
yeah.
right now I just smoked a grape one, and that was pretty good.
Nice. Yeah, those are classic. Grape is that's a standard for sure. Favorite movie or TV? What are you watching? Whether you're unwinding or if you're just kind of bored on a day when you don't got anything going on, or something that comes on TV that you're happy to leave on. What's something you like to watch?
I honestly love anything that is like psychological thrillers. I'm all about the mind.
Sure.
All about the mind.
Gotcha. Like Sherlock, Mentalist, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Right on. And then final quick hit, favorite cuisine? Like what's a meal or a food that if it's a special day for you, whether it's your birthday or you got some celebrating to do, what's a meal or a restaurant that you definitely want to go hit?
A nice steak.
Steak. Absolutely.
Steak. Oh my God.
Yeah. Medium rare. That's
now I want some.
I know. It's always. It's the thing about steak. You really can't talk about it without wanting one. And blunts. I guess that's the same for blunts for me too. Because just talking about that grape blunt, now I kind of want one of those too. But anyway, Brendaly Beltran, founder and CEO of Tree Huggers, thank you so much for stopping by the show and just kind of talking a little about your journey and what people can expect from Tree Huggers and how they can join in with what sounds like a great group of people who put on some pretty sweet parties. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, great. Well, you have a wonderful evening, and we'll talk again soon.
Okay, you too. Thanks.
Last thing I wanted to bring to your attention before I end the episode, listener, is an article from Crane's Chicago Business. It's chicagobusiness.com, and this is a publication that does great work regarding reports and original reporting about businesses around Chicago, and this particular article is from the editorial board. Definitely consider subscribing to Crane's. Unsponsored plug, but I really like the work they do there, and this was put out September 12th. The headline is Team Pritzker owes would-be pot shop owners an explanation. The subheader is that state rules are tangling weed entrepreneurs in a catch-22. This is a little bit hard to kind of parse, and I won't read the whole thing, but there's a point here that I kind of just wanted to bring up. They talk about how the legalization in the state was designed to generate tax revenue as well as balance the scales of justice for minority communities, which had been hit by the war on drugs hardest. And they say that there are troubling signs that the legalization in the state is falling short on both of those fronts. They mention how growth in overall sales and tax revenue is slowing, mainly because Illinois has far fewer retail locations per capita than other states. We all know, again, that there has been a massive backlog in licensing issues. They have gotten those 185 out, but, there was a long delay, so the process of them getting the brick and mortar stores up and their operations up and running, those are really just underway now. That's just starting. So we are still way behind many other states in terms of those locations which are selling at retail. The effort to give Black and brown entrepreneurs a fair shot at potentially lucrative retail licenses also being, as they say, hobbled by bureaucratic delays. Would-be owners of new weed shops, most of whom spend thousands on needlessly complicated applications, only to have their fates determined by the luck of the draw, hung on to finally get their licenses this summer. That's the 185. But here's the key part. This is the important bit. Now they've hit another snag. Crane's John Pletz reports that the state of Illinois says the applicants can't take on investors until they have their shops built out, inspected, and open for business. Yet, to build out those shops, some applicants need capital. Most banks still are not willing to lend cannabis businesses because weed is still illegal on a federal level. Those who do lend are reportedly charging 18 to 20% interest rates. So I won't go any further into the article there, but that little bit, that's the catch-22 that the headline refers to. And you can see how that's hamstringing a lot of these would-be entrepreneurs. In any other industry, people have access to lines of credit. You can just go to the bank and get a business loan or at least apply for one. You have different kinds of options when you need capital for your business. Cannabis entrepreneurs do not have such a luxury, and even to get their foot in the door, to even enter the game, they need capital, a lot of them do, and the state says that applicants can't take on any investors until they have their shops built, inspected, and opened. So how exactly are you supposed to get a shop opened, inspected, and selling without taking on any investors? This is what one of my first guests, Pamela Althoff, the executive director of the Cannabis Business Association of Illinois, this is what she said, is that when more businesses entered into the fray, that inherently is good for us, the consumer, because more businesses means more competition. More competition between companies means they drive their prices down to compete for our business. And then we benefit because they're giving products and putting them on sales in order to lure customers. That's great. So more businesses is good for us. Now that the licenses have been rolled out to those 185 who won the lotteries and such, this issue of funding comes to the forefront. How many of those 185 are going to be able to get actual stores up and running without any investor help? Something to think about, and something that I am going to try and get someone on the show to talk about, someone who can shed a little more light on this and maybe talk about where or if there's any plans to change it on a state level, or maybe explain why this investor limitation is in place. I'm going to try and get somebody on here to shed a little more light on this. But until then, thank you very much for tuning in, and tune in next week for another episode of the Cannabis Man Podcast. Bye-bye. Cannabis Man is an original production of myself, Don Kleppen. Original theme music by Yusu Kim, aka Goodson. Other music by Pat Perez, and logo designed by Vorbroker Media. If you like the show, please rate, review, subscribe, and share whenever you can.